Our top story, Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has stirred up rivalry with the close and old friend India. He has upped the anti-India rhetoric and alleged that plots are being hatched in New Delhi to unseat him. Prime Minister Oli has alleged that India and Indians are conspiring to topple over his government as he continues fighting to save his job. KP Sharma Oli's position as Prime Minister is on shaky ground. His own party wants him to quit. Rival factions have gained ground and they want Comrade Oli out as he continues to remain blind to Chinese encroachments in Nepal. However, he managed to win over political parties in Nepal to adopt a new political map depicting Indian territories as its own. KP Sharma Oli is losing Nepal's land to China. He's losing India's sympathy. He's losing his people's confidence. And now he's losing support in his own party. Our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibbal now joins us live from India's capital, New Delhi, for more on that big story that we're tracking. Siddhant, talk to us. KP Sharma Oli clearly is in a lot of trouble, and now, as a last resort, he is targeting India.
Well, yes, shocking comments, but not surprising comments by the Nepali Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. He has made anti-India comments in the past as well, including his infamous statement on COVID, how COVID in this country has increased due to free flow of people from India to Nepal, even though it was the Nepali government's responsibility to make sure that these people are quarantined. But talking about his comments come at a time when there is increased pressure against him by his own party members. There have been meetings going on in Kathmandu regarding this. The meeting started on Wednesday, and there is now pressure on him to perform, especially when it comes to on corruption front, on tackling COVID crisis. We have seen strong protests in the capital, Kathmandu, and across the country over his inability to handle the COVID crisis in his country. And now, in a bid to divert, he has made a serious allegation saying that it is the meetings and someone in Delhi, and there are people in Kathmandu who are doing meetings, including naming the Indian mission, saying that there are meetings taking place in the Indian mission against him so that he can be toppled. But he has been silent when it comes to the Chinese influence in his country. In fact, last week, WION broke that how there had been a motion introduced by the opposition Nepali party, but there hasn't been a single word against the encroachment by the Chinese. Of course, there was a release by the Chinese by the Nepali foreign ministry on the encroachment, saying that it is something that has been resolved. So, by and large, the KP Sharma Oli government blind on China, how he is completely silent on the Chinese activity, the Chinese influence in his country, but very vocal when it comes to India. And now, in a bid to divert the domestic protest against him by the people and by his own party members, he is making such controversial comments, especially against India, with which Nepal has a civilizational relationship, and his comments are something that's going to impact government-to-government interaction. But when it comes to civilizational relationship, the roti beti ka rishta, which has been talked about, much celebrated relationship, this is something that will continue. And as they say, Olis come and go, but the relation will continue.
Siddhant Sibbal joining us with the latest on that big story that we're tracking with. Siddhant, before we let you go, also talk to us in terms of India's response to these shocking comments from Nepal's Prime Minister.
Well, Krishna, so far there hasn't been any reaction, but India has understood the psyche behind KP Sharma Oli government and the Prime Minister himself. He's a person which India believes has a radical anti-India mindset and very pro-China mindset, and that is why pretty much very silent. His actions and his words are in tandem and speak for themselves. And primarily, India reacted strongly when it comes to its sovereignty and territorial integrity regarding the passage of that now infamous amendment in the Nepali parliament, which of course gives constitutional backing to the Nepali thought process, the map which was introduced by the Nepali Prime Minister that talks about the three territories which Nepal claims as its own. India said that when it comes to these kind of things, these are something that is going to impact the relationship government to government, but when it comes to people, that is expected to continue. And for that, if you look at the releases coming from the Indian mission in Nepal, the Indian mission is continuing with the infrastructure development in Nepal. There has been talk, in the past focus on the infrastructure development in Nepal through India. In fact, the Nepali Prime Minister had in the past video conferences with the Indian Prime Minister inaugurating various important infrastructure projects, including an oil pipeline from India to Nepal. But it seems to be a sudden change in the Nepali Prime Minister's thought process. And of course, we have seen how he has been very silent when it comes to dealing with China, acting upon China, and perhaps trying to make sure that Chinese influence grows in South Asia.
With that live update from India's capital, New Delhi. Thank you, Siddhant, for being with us here on the broadcast.